Hey, you. Yeah, you. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Circumcision. Male circumcision is the removal of the foreskin from the human penis. Oh man, that already sounds really fucking painful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't see the point in a circumcision. I just don't. I mean, there's a lot of cultures that think it's tradition. That's fine. That's your prerogative. I don't care. But me personally, I just don't see the point. Although they say the main reason why it's good to do it is because it eliminates a lot of infections. Now, if that's actually true, why not cut off a piece of your penis? Make it smaller. Sure. Every woman will love that. And just tell her, you know what? I'm doing this because I don't want to catch a cold this winter. So I'm sacrificing my penis because I don't feel like getting the flu this winter. Or it could be something else. It could be even more serious. It could be something like cancer. Maybe a really bad infection. Something that will really make you itch down there. But still, is it worth cutting off a piece of your penis? Is it really? Really think about it. Would you drive a car without the hood? Obviously not. You want to protect it. You want to protect what's under there. But at the same time, sometimes you have no choice but to go through this procedure. And a lot of people always, well, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time, they have to do it when they're younger. Did you ever see that episode of Seinfeld where, the mohel came in? That's when, a Jewish priest comes in, and when the kid is like 1 year old, he just has to come in and just take off a piece of the penis there, and it's just tradition. But then he was all like fidgety and everything, and he was very neurotic, and if someone's like waving a knife in front of you and they're supposed to cut something, I'm gonna be scared shitless. So yeah, man, that's not cool. But a lot of people think it's it's just something that every guy should go through. But I don't think so. It just doesn't sound right to me. I don't think this is normal. Okay, it looks weird. Like when you have a penis that looks like an anteater or Dumbo's nose. But but who knows? Everyone's got their preference, right? They say most women don't prefer an uncircumcised penis because it just looks weird, But then again, 50% of women prefer chocolate over sex. So why do I bring this up? I don't know. The point is, if you're gonna do it when you're younger, when you don't feel it. Obviously you're gonna feel it when you're younger, but you don't want to do it like I did at the age of 28. That's right, folks. I got this procedure done when I was 28 years old. Crazy, right? Well, I must have been. But in the end, it was worth it. Actually, to be completely honest with you, it's either that or I had to live the rest of my life in pain. Picture every time, you took a piss, it felt like someone pouring battery acid, on the tip of your dick. But other than that, life was great. Yeah, I'm going to tell you this story, and I'm going to tell you the story again Because I'm going to be completely honest with you. As of recently, I recorded a couple podcasts. Uh, I'm sure that's probably wrong. But anyways, yeah, and one of them accidentally got deleted, which was this one, Circumcision. So if I don't sound that enthusiastic as I did the first one, because you would have no idea what the first one sounded like because it got deleted, uh, yeah, that's my bad, you know. But then again, if you're gonna lose a piece of your dick at the age of 28, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you wouldn't be that enthusiastic anyway, you know. So yeah, so we're gonna try this again, and I promise you, right after I finish this, I'm actually gonna save this file right after. I'm not gonna fuck around. I'm not going to go into my phone and think, oh, okay, yeah, I'll get to it later, or I'll just clear out my, files I don't need, because we always do that on our phones, and, just don't do it. If you record something really important, just make sure it's saved right away. So, yeah, it definitely was not pleasant what I went through. I'm not going to lie to you. This was a very tortured part of my life. I mean, it only lasted for maybe a month or something like that total. But it's better than what they used to do back in the day. I mean, just have a whole crowd of people, and everyone just look at you losing a piece of your dick. I mean, I didn't have that big of a crowd. I mean, I only had a couple people there, but they used the right tools and all that. It's not like back in the day where they used this, blade that was made of wood, and it looked pretty dull, But yeah, it was a pretty interesting experience I had to go through. So, for the second time, I'm going to tell you a lovely story on how this guy, speaking right now, got a circumcision at the age of 28. Here goes. You ready? Hopefully you're not eating anything at this point, because that would just be gross. But, yeah. Anyways, so I was the lovely age of 28 where, at this time you think to yourself, okay, my 20s are almost done, and, the 30s are coming, now I gotta get serious with life, and, I did all the stupid shit I had to in my 20s to, just get it out of my system, and nothing else can go worse, and, boy, was I wrong. So one day, I'm just chilling on my couch. It was a very comfy couch, by the way. They don't make couches with springs like that anymore. I don't know. That's according to my mom. But anyways, yeah. So I'm watching a movie, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I noticed, when I woke up, at the time, obviously I was uncircumcised, as most Europeans are. It seems to be a tradition for some reason. But, anyways. I'm just sitting there, and I felt a heaviness. Now I'm a big guy anyway, so it wasn't that kind of heavy, but it was like something's not right down there. So then I take off my shorts, take off the good old Fruit of the Loom underwear, and I'm like, okay, this is not right. And the best way I could describe how my penis looked like at the time, picture a roll of toilet paper. Not as dark, but, a roll of toilet paper. And on the front of it is a loaf of bread. Now, why I say this is because it looked like, just a piece of skin just, in front there just was completely inflamed, and I'm thinking to myself, why is this inflamed? Why is this happening to me? I mean, I understand if I grew up in the Playboy Mansion or something like that, and I would expect my dick to fall off by the time I was 7. But why is this happening now? What's the reasoning here? Remember in the first Nutty Professor movie, the one with Eddie Murphy, and his lip just all of a sudden just swells up. Again. I mean, I guess that would have been a better analogy, but like what I said before about the loaf of bread, but or the piece of bread. I'm sorry. Oh boy. But anyways, yeah, it was pretty swollen. For some reason, I remember this distinctively. It was in shape of a triangle. I don't know if the Illuminati did this to me. I don't know what happened, but anyways, I was like, okay, this is pretty fucked. So I obviously, was like, okay, I should go to the hospital. Where I lived at the time, I lived in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't, I mean, there was like a hospital nearby, I guess, but the buses weren't running, and I was like, okay, I gotta take a cab. So, again, my dick is costing me money. I'll explain that another time. But anyways, yeah, so I ended up going to the hospital. And, I went to a hospital in my area where, you have to wait quite a while. It's not exactly, Speedy Gonzalez service there. So I'm waiting and waiting, and, my dick is inflamed, it looks like those like balloons, that are long and then you make dogs out of, I mean, basically my dick looked like a black guy's penis, except I couldn't use it. So, that really sucked. My dream came true and I couldn't even use it. But anyways, so I'm just sitting there for hours and hours and hours, and it wasn't really that painful. It was just kind of awkward to find a good position to sit down, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's what like Shaquille O'Neal feels like all the time when he's trying to sit. But anyways, so finally the doctor came, and I'm like, all right, doc, I'll just be honest with you, man. I'm not feeling right down there. It's not going well. So he's like, all right, just take off your pants, And I said to myself, yeah, Dad told me there'd be days like this. So I take off my pants, and, I'll be honest with you guys and ladies, the 20 people that listen to this podcast. I'm a grower, not a shower. I'm not saying that there's, nothing down there. It looks like kind of like a 1980s doorstop, use your imagination on that one. And, yeah. But anyways, I pulled down my pants and I'm like, okay, here you go, man. It is what it is. Like I said, it looked bigger than it's ever been. But it's like when you like fill up a water balloon, and you're at that point where like a little bit more or like a slight touch will just burst it, and you're like, oh shit, okay, so I better not. I better be very careful here, and you be careful too, because of course he's got to touch it, and I gotta, say, hey man, buy me dinner first, all that stupid shit. And, he's like, okay, it's a rare thing, whatever, okay, take a couple of these pills. And then he gave me this one pill that was like, I think it was meant for Seabiscuit. So then I take the pills. I'm like, cool. He's like, wait here a second. Okay, no problem. So I'm like, all right, that wasn't bad. It could have been worse. It could have been, really hot nurse that came in and I had to show her my dick, whatever. And then I spoke too soon. And then 10 minutes later, that's exactly what happened. A very beautiful woman came in, blonde, very nice, very attractive. And she told me again, yeah, take off your pants, I'm like, okay, okay, so this is the lowest point of my life. And I do that, and she's just like double checking some things, okay, and then she, just leaves. Yeah. So, actually, I should have asked her if she was a nurse. I just assumed. But anyways, so then I go home. The pills start to kick in like the next day, and it's like all good, whatever, cool. Now weeks go by. I'm feeling great. My new and improved penis. Bigger, stronger, faster, whatever. Then again, I'm just relaxing on the beautiful couch. And then this happens again. And I'm like, shit, this is not cool. Now, before, I should have mentioned this before, like before when it got a little swollen there, I was like, shit, like, okay, like they got a little smaller, then it got bigger, and then this one just stayed, like I said, it's like, best way to describe it is like, people like stretch out their earlobe, and then like it'll forever be stretched. That's what it was like. It was just kind of like, just dripping there, whatever. Not dripping, just drooping. Thank God it wasn't dripping. But anyways, yeah, so I was like, shit, okay, I got to handle this again for the second time. And then I, saw the doctor, a different doctor. And he said, and I just told him, I said, look, man, this keeps happening. I can't keep living like this. This isn't good. What can I do about this? And he's like, okay, I'm not going to lie to you. This happens in 1 in a million guys. So as soon as he said that, I'm like, okay, so now you're talking my language, because every fucking thing that's not supposed to happen to a normal person actually happens to me. So just in case, I actually talked to 2 different doctors, and they both said 1 in a million guys. So you hear something like that 3 times, you're like, okay, cool. It's got to be right, all doctors looked like they were on the level, so I was like, all right, I believe you. So then when I went to the 3rd doctor, I told him, I said, listen, okay, so I've been told this 2 times, you told me this, what do I got to do? And he told me, he said, okay, this is what you do. You either got 2 choices. Either 1, I can book you for an appointment in 2 months, they'll put you under, they'll gas me or whatever, like 99, 98, 90, whatever. And they'll just do it. Or you could wait 1 month and we could put this huge needle in your dick, freeze it, and do it while you're awake. So I was like, okay, my birthday's in a month. I want to get laid in a month. Let's see, be awake or freeze needle dick. Okay. I'm Canadian. I'm used to the cold. Fuck it. I'm going to do the second one. So that's what ended up happening. Waited a month. I had to deal with this kind of weird slice loaf dick on my penis. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever, gotta do what you gotta do. So I go to the hospital that day, not by myself, obviously. I had my dad drive me. Because keep in mind, there'd be days where I would literally just walk like Yosemite Sam. And keep in mind, I was still like having sex like during this point, but I mean, it would just sting like a motherfucker. Like right on the edge there, And just let me just point this out here so no one thinks I'm, this weird infected person. Again, the 3 doctors said 1 in a million guys. They all said it wasn't like an infection or anything like that. It's just one of those things where he actually told me, the last doctor said, that I should have got circumcised when I was young, and most guys should do it. So, this whole infection thing or, preventing something in the future, and you should just do it just in case, and I never had this problem before. I'm a very clean guy, ask anybody who's ever dated me. It's one of the few things I actually have. Then on my humor, that's literally all I got left. And I was like, okay, there's nothing wrong. So it happens. I'm like, all right, cool. Gotta do what I gotta do. So, yeah. And so my dad drove me there, still walking there, like a cowboy just getting off his horse. And, I go up to the room there and I say, hey, what's going on? Time to lose a piece of my penis. No, I just said, look, I'm here to, for the circumcision. Yes, I am 28 years old. Better late than never. And, I go up there and I just put on like one of those like old robes that they have, at the hospital, whatever. And, I I never liked those robes. Like every time I put on those robes, it sounds weird, but I always think of like, if you ever watched The Fresh Prince, like he went to the hospital in that first season, and then like the back's not covered, so someone's gonna see my flat ass, and so I'm like, so I did what he did. I just wore both. I just wore like two of them at the same time, one for the front, one for the back, whatever. Big guy, so I need a really big one, and yeah. So far so good. I had to walk around barefoot too, man, which sucks. Like I fucking hate that. Like, I just skeeve that. I mean, God only knows like what. I'm sure they clean the floors at this hospital, whatever. But still, man, I don't want to go through this shit. It's just it's dirty, man. It's a hospital. I don't know what bodily fluids are flying around here, and blood and jizz or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, so I'm all set to go. They show me the table I'm gonna lie on. It's like this big like metal table. I'm actually glad I wore the gown in the back there, because I would have froze my ass off. And yeah, it was actually not well lit. I thought it was gonna be well lit, but I guess not. I don't know. I felt like they almost like I wanted to save energy or something and only turned on one of the 5 lights or something. But anyways, I'm just lying there, and the doctor comes in, and he's like, hey, are you ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. Okay. But anyways, I'm like, yeah, cool, man. I'm ready to, lose more of my pride. And, so he's like, yeah, don't worry, I've done this lots of times. I'm like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I fucking hope so. So then the nurse comes. So I'm like, okay, great. Another nurse is going to see my dick. Okay, awesome. So then I'm at the table there, lying on the table. The doctor's on the left, the nurse is on the right. And, of course, not wearing the undies, so they just, pull up the skirt, or whatever gown, or fuck you want to call it. Oh, my masculinity is gone. And, they're like, okay, we're going to get started. So the first thing they do is they put this like red shit on, which I assume is like iodine or rubbing alcohol red, and I don't know, it looked like cow's blood. But anyways, it's just the disinfect the area, blah blah blah, whatever. So he pours that shit on. I don't know, it looks like the elevator from The Shining just punched me in the crotch. And then he whips out this big ass needle. I mean, this thing is huge. Like, this is like, I don't know, man. They must use this needle in like the NBA or something. I mean, this is like fucking huge. So then, he's like, okay, I'm gonna put this needle in your penis, and it's gonna, help. I'm like, hey, I'm like, yeah, sure, doc, whatever you say. Just do it, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Ladies, you won't understand this part of the story, but guys, if you've ever had a needle in your penis, or if you've ever wondered if a needle in your penis is gonna hurt, and if you're gonna feel it, yeah, fuck yeah, you're gonna absolutely feel it. So, yeah, that was that woke me up. So yeah, of course he's like, to me it felt like he was taking his time. I mean, whatever. But surprisingly, like a couple minutes later, yeah, I didn't feel shit, because apparently he said he like shot me 2 times after that, and I didn't feel nothing. So I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, this doctor is, he's cool. He's gonna get a good rating. So, anyways, he's just doing his thing. He starts taking off the foreskin there, doing his thing, and I'm kind of woozy at this point. Not woozy from like the the whole thing. Just I mean, I'm just a big guy. I was lying down. I was just tired. I don't know, because you got to do the shit in the morning, right? I'm not a morning person. But to fix my penis, yeah, I'll wake up a little early. Sure, why not? So I'm just lying there, and at the time I was just kind of dozing in and out there, and I'm like, hey, doc, like, are you really doing this? And he says, oh yeah, yeah. So I was like, oh, all right, cool, man. So at the same time, I'm not saying anything to them. They're just like talking to each other back and forth here. You know, it's like a fucking casual Tuesday. And at the same time, they have satellite radio playing, and it must have been like a rock station or something because they got like Bon Jovi playing like crazy. You know, I mean, the irony was I was living on a prayer, you know, that, you know, I would leave there with nothing wrong with my penis. But anyways, so yeah, Bon Jovi's playing, and they're just talking back and forth, you know, to each other, and like, oh my God, you hear that Bon Jovi's coming to Toronto? Oh yeah, oh my God, yeah, man, I always liked him, and in my head I'm thinking, guys, please focus on my penis, okay? Please, I don't need any more problems, okay? I get it, like I love the dude too, but you know, just make sure everything's all right down there, please, please, thank you. So, you know, they're going at it, whatever. You know, or you know, the doctor's doing his thing, and she's helping there or whatever, and you know, and then he's done. You know, I never asked him if I can actually keep my penis that, you know, is broken off now, but you know, live and learn, I guess. But anyways, and then he starts doing the stitching. You know, now it's the same thing like any other stitches, but except this is obviously like a plastic kind of thread, whatever. And he's doing the knots, whatever, and you know, it's all good. So yeah, you know, it was a success. You know, the rest of the penis was fine. It stayed on there. It, you know, it's a clean cut. You know, it looks great. It looks really good. And I realized something to myself. I said to myself, like, wow, I have a good looking penis. I never realized that. You know, that's a healthy head you got there, bud. So, anyways, you know, a couple weeks go by. Like I can't really do shit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. That first week, I just spent the whole time in my apartment. I was just chilling. Here's the problem, though. Now, a lot of guys, we, you know, have this problem, or it's not really a problem, but it's just something that we have to deal with, you know, most mornings, is we wake up to a boner. Now, it's not a good idea to have, you know, something very tight and stitched on your dick and have a boner at the same time. But at the same time, you really can't help that. So I'm not gonna lie. Again, you know, there were times where I'd wake up with a boner, and you know, it looked like you know, the Joker just gave me head. So you know, I had to buy a couple new pairs of underwear. Guys, I know this sounds disgusting. I'm just keeping it real. Okay, just keeping it real. Just keep that in mind. Okay, don't eat yet. Okay, the story is almost over. Anyways, yeah, so, and even at the time, I was seeing this girl, and I told her my situation. You know, she was fucking laughing her ass off, you know. Yeah, because she was really passionate. But anyways, you know, again, the problem was she enjoyed teasing the fuck out of me. And, you know, I was able to satisfy her. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. There was again, I was popping a lot of stitches, and you know, that is not cool. I mean it felt, you know, cool because you're, you know, doing the thing. Anyways, the point is, just try not to, if you ever get a circumcision at 28, that's all I'm saying, is just don't pop a boner if you can help it. So again, you know, yeah, a week went by. I had to go see one doctor. He wanted to see if the stitches were going good. You know, he's like, cool, looks fine, whatever. And then I showed up another couple weeks after that. Healing was going good. Now, the only problem was, as it was healing, the stitches, or the knots, however, had to come out. Now, this might have been the longest shower I've ever taken in my life. Now, they gave me these pills at the same time. They didn't really do anything. I took one. I felt dizzy for like, you know, 10 minutes, whatever. It didn't really do anything. Yeah, I mean, it didn't do anything. I don't know, big guy. It was like taking a couple Tic Tacs or something. It just wasn't, it didn't do shit. It's like throwing a snowball at a house. But anyways, yeah, you know, I had to take that almost hour and a half shower, and I had to like basically pick the knots out of my dick. And like, man, you had to have steady hands, for that shit. It was like that scene in Indiana Jones where he's like kind of like weighing out the sandbag and the statue, and I'm rubbing my face, and I'm like, okay, shit, I gotta, okay. So after that was done, cool. I actually look again. I'm not bragging. I looked at my dick and I was like, wow, this is a good looking dick. So I did not know that for all these years, and everything was great. A lot of people always wonder if the sex is better with a circumcision or without. It is definitely better with the circumcision. Guys, you're welcome. But it is, honestly, like it just feels better to me. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's because, I don't have to stretch my shit out like a balloon. I don't know. I mean, it's great. So, and that's my story. Now, what do we learn from this? Well, we've learned to, I don't know, we haven't learned much, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, this happens to 1 in a million guys. I mean, so this is something that I couldn't help. And, I just had to get it done. And a lot of people feel, they should get it done when they're younger. Okay, cool, do it. So, I mean, maybe after all this, maybe it's actually worth having it, because they keep saying, sexually transmitted diseases and HIV infections and, all these whatever could happen if you, don't get your dick circumcised. So, yeah, I mean, in the end, it's up to you. I mean, with me, I probably would have done it when I was younger, so I didn't have to go through all this shit when I was 28. But, in the end, I would say it was worth it. So, in the end, and I do mean the end, sorry. Anyways, it's up to you if you want to get a circumcision.